Early in June, almost immediately after the draft, both Craig Kimbrel and Dallas Keuchel were selected out of free agency by the Chicago Cubs and the Atlanta Braves respectively. Atlanta Braves fans were not silent in their desire for at least one of these moves, but many people voiced that they wanted to see a return of Craig Kimbrel in an Atlanta uniform. That did not end up working out. Instead, he signed to the Cubs on a 3-year, $43 million deal. So with the Braves continually struggling to find a closer, why not select the future Hall of Fame former Atlanta star? On average, Craig Kimbrel will be making $14.3 million a year. That's not significantly more than what Keuchel signed for, which was $13 million, but there is one key difference, that being time. Kimbrel wanted a long-term contract, and who wouldn't? The Braves are hesitant to sign anyone to that long-term contract, especially considering the riches in their minor leagues right now. The Braves are buying pieces. What do I mean by that? It's hard to know when prospects will be ready. Look at the Braves' third base situation right now. It's very apparent that had Austin Riley been predicted to debut so successfully in the majors, the Braves may not have spent so much money on Josh Donaldson this year. If a logical fan had to guess, that spot is Riley's in the 2020 season. Donaldson was a piece to fit the needs of the developing Atlanta Braves. If you saw my video from earlier this week, I had a bit of a theory on the Braves moving toward trading for a closer. The link to that will be in the description if you want to check that out. But to save you some time, I think it will be Greene of the Detroit Tigers. Shane will be a piece. If he works out and the Braves like him, he may stay a few years. Dallas Keuchel is a piece, but it's only for 1 year. And what they're doing is they're gauging. Let's give you an example of a previous deal that didn't go so well, which may explain the Braves' reasoning. How many of you remember Dan Uggla? I'm sure many of you, like me, were fond of him. He always hustled, and he even had a 33-game hit streak in 2011. Everything looked bright for the second baseman. Then his batting average dropped, his RBI totals dropped, his home run total dropped. And the Braves were paying around $12.4 million for 5 years to a guy hitting 2 home runs and batting .179, instead of the $233 that got him the contract in the first place. This is why they didn't want a long-term contract. Imagine paying Craig Kimbrel $14.3 million a year and he doesn't perform well. Let's say he blows saves left and right and he has no consistency. What if there's no instant effect of having Kimbrel back? What if he takes time to get his stuff together again? And just to throw this in, what if he's not the closer that he's been over the past number of years? There's many questions in the long term. Think about how many great stars are living out long contracts without performing like their younger selves. Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols, Jason Hayward, Yoenis Cespedes, Troy Tulowitzki, and even King Felix, just to name a few. There's a lot of teams making these same long-term mistakes. Bryce Harper and Manny Machado are 2 prime examples. Don't let me understate who Craig Kimbrel is. If anybody knows how dominant he is, it's Braves fans. The guy's on the road to the Hall of Fame. But the Braves don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. If Kimbrel was willing to do 1 year, there's a chance that the Braves would have picked up Keuchel and Kimbrel. Why go all in right now if you're the Braves? That's the Phillies and the Mets philosophy. But the Braves are different. They've spent years rebuilding. A rebuild that started with trading B.J. Upton and, you guessed it, Craig Kimbrel. Bringing in Dallas Keuchel shores up a starting pitching staff that can sometimes be unpredictable due to their youthful inexperience that would be typical of a young staff. I agree the Braves bullpen needs help, but in the short term, not the long term. Plan for the future with this Braves team. It's what the Braves front office has been doing since 2013. The Braves' patience is starting to pay off, and it's only about to get more exciting as time goes on.